In this video, I'm going to be sharing the exact system I use to learn Python on my own using Notion. I'm going to share with you all the concepts I learned step by step, and I'm even going to share the exact system and template that I use to track my learning. Check the comments for the template. And of course, I'm sharing how I'm learning, understanding, and remembering everything that I learned. This video is focused on Python, but these concepts can be taken across any programming language that you want. If you're self-learning like I was, I'm literally going to share concepts that I haven't seen anyone else on YouTube talk about. And I'm going to share them absolutely free. The only charge is you've got to subscribe to this channel. And of course, put in a little effort. So the first question that we want to answer is, why do we need a system? Well, you can do a quick Google search and you can find a scattered bunch of information like this course or this hack to learn programming in 5 minutes. Or you can follow the Notion template that I'm offering, and it'll be mimicking a structured course in which you're progressing step by step, concept by concept. And that will allow you to track your learning and make sure that your progress is kept up to par. The truth is, any skill that you want to learn in 2023, you can most likely find online, and most of the information will be free. So let's get into the top concepts you need to learn in order to master Python. So the first thing you need to do is download Python for your operating system. So go to python.org/downloads and click the download link for your specific operating system. There's different download methods for Mac and Windows. Step 2 is to learn the subtle nuances of Python. If you've learned HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, Python is really similar to JavaScript conceptually. However, there's a syntax difference. In Python, indentation matters. It's like one of the most important things. So pretty much a code block is determined by indentation. A proper indentation is 4 spaces or a tab. Next, you'll need to learn about the 2 data types. You have primitive types, which are Boolean values, numbers, and strings. And you also have composite types, which are tuples, lists, and dictionaries. It also wouldn't hurt to learn some of the common Python functions like length, sum, and print, because those are built-in functions that you won't have to write yourself, and they'll just be easy to utilize. Next, you need to learn about conditional statements. Conditional statements allow certain code blocks to run if, well, certain conditions are met. So the if statement runs if a certain condition is true. The elif statement runs if the first if statement isn't true and this statement in the elif code block is true. And else runs if neither the if nor elif statement is true. I like to interject and ask you to like, comment, and please subscribe. I try to offer high value content, and I want this to get out to help as many people as possible so they can follow the roadmap to master Python too. Now back to the video. Next, let's talk about comparison and logic operators. These operators are used to compare different operands and are often used in conditional statements. For example, the double equal sign is used if operand A is equal to operand B. And you also have the not symbol, which is basically an exclamation point. So exclamation point and equal sign means if operand A is not equal to operand B, run this code block. And you have other operations like the greater than and less than sign, but I think those are self-explanatory. Now let's talk about loops. Loops are used to perform any action multiple times without having to write the same code over and over. In Python, you can loop through a range of numbers, loop through strings, or loop through lists or dictionaries. There are several types of loops, but the 2 most common that a beginner should focus on are for loops and while loops. If you can learn these 2 types of loops, the other types will be easy to understand. Also, it's important to know the break and continue keywords when you're using loops, so don't forget that. And of course, to wrap up Python fundamentals, you've got to learn about functions. Functions are the building blocks that make any type of code work. You've got to learn about the difference between parameters and arguments, how to write functions, indentation matters, and how return works. Now let's talk object-oriented programming. Classes are essentially the building blocks of object-oriented programming. And classes have what's called attributes and also methods. Be sure to learn the difference between instance attributes as well as class attributes, and also learn how to create your constructor. Methods are effectively actions or functions that belong to a specific class. Be sure to learn the difference between class attributes and static attributes. Both are initialized with an @decorator. And finally, object-oriented programming wouldn't be complete without learning the 4 pillars of OOP, which are essentially the way OOP programming works. And they are polymorphism, abstraction, inheritance, and encapsulation. Oh yeah, and a pro tip is try to learn about modules and packages. Modules are pretty much files that you can import and get access to an array of different functions that somebody else wrote. It wouldn't hurt to learn that and use some of those functions, right? So ultimately, Python fundamentals and OOP are some of the most important concepts within Python. If you follow the roadmap that I'm leaving in the description, then I guarantee you'll be ready for the next steps and you'll be well on your way to master Python. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe. I put a lot of effort and time into my videos and shorts and just content creation in general. So I'll see you guys next week. It's your guy, So Dev. Peace.